Howdy, folks. Welcome to the next episode of Sawyer's Locomotion Speedrun. We're going to do Smiley Isley here. This should be a pretty quick one, but never know. This is a set map. It's the same every single time. Haven't really found it like super easy meta with this, but like best thing to do just to get money real quick. Like it is 1970. There's not a whole lot of time to really mess around, and stuff is expensive. Like it's 5 grand to build one section of track across the water here. Suspension bridges not a whole lot cheaper. So what I like to do is basically stick to the key money makers. Um, Passengers are very easy. We have access to pretty good locomotives here. 65 miles an hour is no joke going across the water. Um, I like to basically just start with that, get some surefire income, like a guaranteed, like easy cash supply. There's going to be a ton of people here. We'll be able to stimulate this city, move some passengers around, and get things off to a good start. And then it's going to come down to getting some of these other industries here on the fringe, on the shoreline. There's a couple spots here, a couple of grain farms. There is a at some point there is a there is a flour mill. That's the word. So we'll be able to like move grain from there over to this one by ship. It's a lot cheaper than building a train to do it. If we do have an excess of money, we could potentially look into upgrading that and getting up to our 30% cap a lot sooner. But yeah, this is just one to feel out as you go. So yeah, let's get things started. Oh, what time is it? Hmm. So let's get started. Uh, so Wahiawe is the largest city. Next closest is Riotston. Could I build the train to there? Yes, but Crack Upton is not so much smaller, and it's going to be a lot easier to just build something right off of the shore. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to use a trick that I have shown in another episode to basically just start off with getting a very large catchment area over this city here. We want to maximize the amount of what, oh man, what's it called? The amount of houses and stuff that we have here. Um, Oops. So, how are we gonna play this one? And something like this. Wasn't exactly what I wanted, but we're now 2 above here. Just double checking it is 5 grand to do that. It's the same cost to do the other one, so that should cover most of the city. Get a little bit more there. And I'm not going to screw around with the passengers because I don't want to get a bad rating right off the bat. So first thing is we got to go way down to the ocean here. This may have been a bad choice. I'm actually gonna instead, let's see here. I think I could probably go across for a little bit and save some money. We basically want to go pretty much straight across the way here. I'd like to get the station all the way out here. I think what I might do is just kind of lower the land a bit. Make it a little easier to build the station up. Now, could I just build a suspension bridge and get all the way across? We're 96 feet here, 128 feet here. It would be a lot easier and cheaper than doing all the downward stuff. And you know what? I'm going to give it a try. I run out of money real quick on this one, folks. Oh my goodness. Hemorrhaging money. Still way cheaper to do the suspension bridge. All right, now we've kind of equalized. And I've made the mistake of not doing any elevation. That was very pathetic. We've gone through like all of our loan already, so this is going to be a bit of a rough one. Oh my goodness, nothing is cheap here. Yeah, 1970s are not great. So we're going to unfortunately have to use this little baby ass turn. I know I said I wanted a bigger catchment area. We're gonna get there. It's this one's gonna be a process. Now, fortunately, we do get a pretty big loan here, so I'm probably just freaking out about nothing. But yeah, with this extra coin here, I'm gonna just extend this out like we had planned. And we can watch our little sailor go. I'm gonna like take this out again, but I just don't want to be subject to like that a gigantic problem there. Now this is a faux pas. This is just gonna only cause pain. I have to fix this. I'm gonna borrow to get myself out of debt here. You can see that like that one trip was 3 grand. There we are. This guy's cruising. I mean, suspension bridge, I mean, it was expensive, but it might be worth it. And let's see how our station's doing here. I mean, it's a ton of passengers. Like, this is, we're going to eventually have to throw more onto this train right here. You have to excuse me while I eat this power bar here for lunch. $12 grand. This is going to be our moneymaker. 12 grand every time in 14 days, and it's probably even going to be more. That last one was only 20 passengers. It's on 20 passengers and mail right now. I don't know if this guy accepts mail. Yeah, it doesn't, but oh, we could dream. Now we should check out our maximum loan here. I think we get up to like 1.8 million. It's not a bad idea to invest in the ships because it's not a huge expense. You basically just buy the ship and that's it. I mean, yeah, this is actually very, very doable at this point. So I've kind of scouted this out already. The grain farm that's right here produced a decent bit. We want to drop this off at the flour mill, which is here. It is a long way. You need a lot of ships. Actually, you know, this might even be a little better. It's a little shorter. It's more reasonable to do by ship. So we're actually going to start here. Ah, yes, docks are expensive. That is an important detail. Oops. Geez, that was just unfortunate. I just totally screwed that up, didn't I? Well, got it there. And, yeah, I guess we'll just pay the consequences. Cargo ship. You have to be very clear to tell it that you wanted to get grain here, because otherwise it's going to try to pick up food from the other one. So we'll tell this guy to go. I'm going to pay this back so we don't pay a lot of interest. These things do take forever to pick up. Now, one thing to keep in mind with this challenge, if you are carrying a gigantic balance here, but you don't have a ton of income coming in, like we just have the train and these ships, is really going to take a while for them to start paying off. You will start getting bankruptcy notifications. It is not a huge deal. I think in the long run, saving the interest is worth it, and you can always borrow to get out of debt. Like, this is not a big deal. All right, get another ship going. And all you have to do is make sure that once you get the final bankruptcy warning that, actually, yeah, like I missed out there, but you saw it was not as huge of a swing. Another ship. And the reason we're doing so many ships is because it just takes so damn long for these things to get across to the other side. Like, our first ship is, he's only just there. So he won't be able, it's going to take a long time for that ship to come back. And it's just not, it's not helping anybody. Yeah, I actually screwed up. I should have paid more loan back before the end of that, but again, yeah, the reason is because this Zippadoo dock needs to stay high up on the satisfaction rating for grain. Otherwise, we're just going to basically be hemorrhaging money or hemorrhaging product. So we can see that our first ship here is just starting to come back, and this right here, folks, like this is not enough time for the ship to get back. So we do need to have one more altogether. Um, and I think one more should do it. Not quite there. And that should be basically all we need at this present juncture here. We can kind of sim this a little bit. Now, depending on when this takes off, we might actually invest in another dock. And by dock, I do mean dock, because check this out. This guy, he's not entirely full. So I hate pausing, but we are going to throw another dock on here, and the reason is we basically want this other ship a chance to pull in somewhere, because otherwise it's just going to be kind of spinning around, and there's a risk of these ships getting stuck. And you know what sucks is that this is an entirely new situation here. I think I have to build them like immediately next to each other, so we're going to have to figure that out. And I might have screwed myself like real bad here. All right. Let's see. This is going to be a on-the-fly lesson for how to do docks and stuff. Partly above and partly below water. Yeah, it's because of the waterway. This is gonna really suck. You know, we're gonna just kind of see how this goes. I think we'll be all right as long as these ships don't like screw up too much. Like it is April, and this thing should have had like, yeah. See, that's what we don't want. This ship is empty right now, so we're just gonna kind of stop it and redock it. This is actually going to be awful for us. Um, Best thing we could do actually is build a train tracks, and just kind of connect the stations, because they do need to be like right next to each other. That was absolutely terrible. So that's just enough to get us close to the docks. We're going to build one more here, and I think this should be enough to just connect them. Yeah. So we're in great shape now. And we can get rid of all this. We just don't need it, and get the money back. And now this is kind of just like having two trains. Um, we are able to have two trains in the station at the same time. We're able to have two ships at different docking points at the same time. Now, of course, the trouble is going to be when multiple ships show up, but I don't think we'll ever have to run into that issue. I'm just going to let that run for a bit. Now, we will come to a point where there's going to be producing so much, like right here, where there wasn't exactly enough. There was so much grain getting produced that we actually didn't even need to have the ships there. Now, this ship should be coming back basically just in time. This might be ship one. It is. It's coming back just in time based on the last time there was enough grain that needed to go out. Now, just note that like we're still above 80% here, so it's not like a huge deal. These things carry 200, as we saw before, so we're gonna grab all of this grain, and we're still gonna have this go back up. So I'm really not worried. But it is time for us to start looking for our next enterprise here. Trains are the best in this game. That's not my biased opinion. As a train lover, it is a fact. They just move the most cargo, the fastest, um, and in this game, speed matters. Speed and distance. In fact, if you haven't seen this before, there's a chart that actually shows you how much you will make. Um, well, this is actually a percentage based goal, so we don't want to do that. Let's show you how much money you'll make by transporting a certain number of units of cargo, a certain number of blocks. So 100 units of cargo, 10 blocks, you get this amount. Just as a reference, passengers are by far the most. Surprise, that's why we started with passenger train. Grapes, I just think, are never worth it in this game because even a short line is going to get you, maybe 10 days. Grapes are just not valuable enough and not they just don't keep because after was that like 30 something days you get nothing. You'll still deliver it but you just won't get paid at all. It's just not worth it. Your produced goods, so stuff like food, goods, mail is actually up there a little bit too, but stuff like steel, paper, stuff that has to be produced from another unit of cargo tends to also pay a little bit more. Livestock is up there, grain is up there. Stuff that's kind of weak is like chemicals, I think, is at the bottom. Iron ore is really not that great. Even oil, you'd think oil would cost a lot more, but not in this game. However, if you think about it, like looking at coal is pretty high up there as a naturally occurring uh, resource. So is lumber. You send lumber to produce paper. Well, that's not a great example, but if you have your coal and your iron ore coming into a steel mill, right? Requires iron ore and coal to produce steel. Um, and you're able to produce steel after that. Steel is tremendously valuable and it keeps for a long time. Like you could transport it a huge distance and it really does not taper off until after like 60 days. And if you're talking about trains that take 60 days to go somewhere, it's just, I don't know what to tell you. That's probably too long or you don't have the right infrastructure in place. Nevertheless, we need to still look for another enterprise here. So I'm seeing a paper mill. I see a managed forest here. Lumber is decently lucrative to transport. Actually, you know what? There's a food processing plant here. There's also a farm here, so we could actually do a similar thing we did with those ships and get another like line going here. That actually might not be too bad of a situation. So let's build them in a good spot this time. There we go. Of course, it costs a ton of money to get going. All right. We could probably go there and there for our docks. All right, and it's going to be similar to what we just did. Let's get a cargo ship going. Wait for a full load of grain. Send it on its way. So it is the winter. This guy didn't produce a lot of grain last month because, surprise, it's cold weather. Grain doesn't really grow that quickly in the cold weather. So this is going to take a little while. I don't want to really wait here forever, so I'm actually going to send this to... Oh, he's so close. All right, so we're there. Things are good. We're definitely going to need multiple ships to get this into a good state. Delivery satisfaction wise. So we're gonna plop another ship down here. And away we go. Now, interestingly enough, we don't even need another ship here because these farms are not producing enough grain to merit it. So we're not even going to worry about that. Now, you do have a time limit on this game, and you have to get to a certain performance index. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend speeding through it like this unless you have a good handle of what exactly you want to build. If you've maybe done this stage ahead of time, it's not bad. The name of the game, though, which I'm trying to just do, is I have some pretty profitable routes here. I just need money. Like you can see, I made a ton of money back by not constructing a lot in that second year, but already, we're in over like $1.5 million in vehicle purchases and construction and the whole bit. Actually, including construction, we're in like $2 million. So we've made a lot of money back, which is terrific. I mean, Concorde. So if we get into like air travel, like it's gonna be like very easy GG. Unfortunately, the Concorde is like over $1 million. Yeah, so it's just too cost prohibitive to get going unless you have a nice nest egg or something else. And I mean, you're on this map, like unless you're doing something, I should probably just actually ah wow, embarrassing. I could just do this. I mean, this train is making 36 grand a month. Like it's kind of hard to say no to that. Um, like I said, trains are the best. They're the most cost efficient. At the start, once you have a lot of airplanes and enough passengers to move around, planes are tremendous for passengers. Not so much for cargo because it's just you're not getting enough transported, even though you are going crazy fast with it. Um, yeah. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough ranting on that. We need another industry because otherwise we're never going to get up to our goal. Uh, this grain farm, I mean, it just looks too close. I don't know if that's necessarily worth it for ships. We could maybe build a train to do it. It's only producing 150 a month. It's just not great, and we're in the middle of summer. That's just bad news. Let's see. I really should have a better handle on this map here. This would be a classic example. Look, a vineyard producing grapes and a winery requiring grapes to produce food. This would be a nightmare for a ship. It's going to take way longer than 20 days to get across there. You're going to basically make no money. So I'm just going to stay away from that. In the absence of anything obvious sticking out, I'm actually going to go with another passenger train here. We can borrow a ton of money, and I think we could just find two other large cities and go from there. So Belly Larf, this kind of snuck up on us. This is rising in population very quickly. There's nothing really stimulating it. I don't know all of the facets that cause city growth in this game. In OpenTTD, I'll maybe explain it as I'm building, make a little use of myself. So yeah, just checking this out. I lied, we're not going to do trains. We do have buses that go 50 miles an hour and carry 40 passengers. There is nothing wrong with that at all, folks. Let's see here. All right, that'll have to do. So yeah, in OpenTTD, there's actually a lot you can do to stimulate towns to grow. Basically, if you are supplying them with food and water, and you're also maintaining a certain amount of, what are the heights here? Oh, we do have to go down. Interesting. And you're maintaining a certain amount of production, or rather transit through the town at any given point in time, the city will grow. And it's like well known. You can look a lot of this stuff up online, other sources. But it's extremely easy to get that going. So I'm doing another like little trick here. I'm just expanding the catchment area of this this bus stop because I like for my buses to have lots of passengers to move around. This is not a situation where I would actually go with two buses. I don't, unless it's a metropolis and you have literally more passengers waiting than one bus could take. It's just not ever going to be worth it. But if we take a look at this, none of these are ever going to get up. Even in the more populous city, Belle-Île, it's just not going to get there. Now, the way I did the catchment areas is important because I am reducing the amount of distance my bus could travel. It's not going, let's say, all the way back here and picking up a couple more blocks. Same thing here, but I don't really want that because when road vehicles make these turns and they're not making this wider turn, they have to slow down considerably. So like if we were to look at this bus has to slow down to 41 to do that inner radius. And turning on this bridge here is also, not ideal. In fact, I might actually sub that out for a little bit of a faster bridge. But if we watch this bus going back around, well, still 41, I guess, no matter what. Let me see. Can I actually get another? No, you can't do that. It is just the steel bridge. That's not possible. This is unlimited speed. It might just help out a little bit. Was it worth the 19 grand? I don't think so, but we're just having fun here, right? Yeah, it picks up like a tiny bit of speed. Yeah, see, one bus is more than fine. Our performance rating is great. The city loves us. I mean, well, it's getting better, I guess. I guess we're not that great, but we'll get there. All right, we're only at 18% here. That's not great. We need we need to add at least like 2 or 3 more train lines to really put this one to bed. We're at a point here where I think we could justify some of these, like going across the river type of trains. I know I said I'm not gonna, like, grapes don't really work out so well, but this is just like right here, and who knows, maybe it won't be too bad. And if it is, then we know for next time that it does suck. Cost of a suspension bridge is 7,034. So once we see the cost exceed that, oops, why would I do that? Now it's time for the suspension bridge. Grab a lot of cash here. I should actually check the, yeah, so as long as we're above like that mark of 42 feet. So now this is, it's still more expensive. Jeez. Just want to make sure that requires grapes. This produces grapes. Excellent. I think that should break us even. Yeah. Whoops. Oh man. Like, you see how expensive this stuff gets going over water. Really, really, really only worth it if you are like truly like filthy rich. Also, tunnels, totally not worth it. Like 14 grand to go in there, please. So I believe these require a boxcar. I like to change my cargo stations to this one just so I could tell the difference of how I'm using them. Jesus, it is incredibly expensive. So I'm not actually going to make it terribly long, and the reason is I don't want my trains to wait terribly long to move these grapes. Because as we saw, grapes just taper off so quickly in cost. Or you need a lot more there. Let's see. These things move 25 tons at a time. Let's maybe do, we'll stick with this actually. Whoops, that is not what we wanted. I'd actually love to see how long it takes for this train to make its trip. Just see if this is going to be viable or not. I mean, 21 days, like you see, it's really not that great. 20 days. It's not nothing, so I'm actually going to leave it in place. It is definitely going to turn a profit, but the sooner that we can actually get these grapes delivered, like you see how quickly it tapers off. Just looking at the chart again, 10 days is kind of like right here. So it's just such a huge drop off after that. 20 days, I mean, we've lost so much value at this point. So I think it'll work for the moment, but there's really a lot better that we could be doing. Um, I did see that paper mill before, and I think there was a forest decently close. By the way, distance should never be the deciding factor. It's more like the terrain around it. So if it's a P in the A to like get stuff over um, to a particular industry, building like up and down hills and stuff, because you don't want to build, $14,000 bridge segments. That's something to keep in mind. I'm forgetting where that paper mill even was. Well, how can we find it again? It wasn't this paper mill, definitely. Requires lumber to produce paper. A little far. By the way, I'm targeting. There are these forests in this area. Lumber's pretty lucrative, doesn't lose a ton of value, so we're just trying to see what is close or reasonable to transport there. There is that paper mill, I guess I could do. Um, that might actually be much better. And we're doing really great on our loan interest right now, so I think we'll try this out. Flatbed wagon can carry 50 tons of lumber in a clip. Damn. Century has plenty of power for that. We will probably need multiple trains just to keep our stuff happy. This lumber does not really change annual, maybe like a touch less every season, but I have to see what month that is. I actually do not know off the top of my head. Yeah, this is very sloppy, but I'm going to do this at the start. It's not going to be for the better, but all right. Yeah, I don't think I'll need more than like 2 trains just because of how easy it will be to load cargo. Whoops, that's going to be way more expensive. Uh, I don't really care too much about going down to my destination there. And once again, we're dealing with plenty of power, so it's not a huge deal. We're going to need a huge loan. That's right. That should be fine. Look at that, beautiful. Actually, don't know how much I don't recall how much I'll need here. Well, definitely more money. That'll be 150 tons. Why don't we make it an even two? Oops. Ah, these are the freaking little guys. I just threw away my engine. I'm wasting money. Hemorrhaging money. Oh, Jesus. Act like I've played this game before. Didn't even build a station. Rookie mistake. I mean, this thing's cruising. Like 200 tons of lumber. Come on. Tremendous. We will need to get another track here, though. Otherwise, it's just not going to be great. Like, we're just going to be hemorrhaging money doing the second line, but I'm just going to take out a big loan, bite the bullet, and we'll deal with it. It's just going to be easier and faster this way. Sometimes you got to... Something about cracking an omelet, breaking eggs. Although, maybe not, because it appears that... Yeah, maybe we don't need this. 200 tons of lumber. I could maybe throw one more trailer on this because it's only got 100. Yeah, it's just that is not even going to be worth it. So we could actually hang on to that cash and rather invest it into this train. I would like to see how it performs. All right, so it is struggling a little bit at 200 tons. Maybe another engine would be nice. So we will get another one of these. Of course, we need a little bit more cash. Another engine. Make sure we have enough station blocks. One more will do. $24 days. This trip should be probably more like 30 something just because it waited longer. 25. I can't beat that. And look at that. Happy customers. 30 days. But we've already like paid for this project, so not terribly worried. I'm curious how Waheoe feels. I mean, I think our rating is pretty good, but like the station rating is not for some reason. Well, we're definitely going to need another industry here. This was it. This lumber forest to this paper mill should be great. Yeah, I think we could swing that. How much is this producing? 279. That is fine by me. Sucks that the actual industry for the managed forest is so tiny. I mean, like, we basically have to start right here. There's no other way to do it. I think we're going to end up doing the same thing. Just have a one train going back and forth and deal with that. I mean, this is... It's a ton of money. 87 grand a month. That might even be our most profitable. Yeah, not even close. Wow. Oh, that's a shame on me. And make sure we know where we're going. There's the paper mill. And the suspension bridge, I think, should be cheaper. 77. Of course, we need a lot more money. I mean, this is year 6 of the challenge, so we are, you know, running a little bit out of time, but this is one of those cases where the extra $1,000 just to get a little bit faster is really worth it. And of course, it's undermined by having to use this kind of thing. And I'm gonna do the same over here. We could have been, you know, going this at this clip the whole time, but I don't know. I have some kind of like maybe the yips about this or some shit like that. Yeah, at this point, like, it doesn't really matter too much about the speed because we're gonna have to be changing elevation quite a bit. Ah. Missing all over the place. We're gonna go with an even 300 tons at a time. Now, why that much? Because it's gonna pay us a ton of money, but also it's going to guarantee that this rating stays high. Like, this will eventually top out probably like 85, no, 75. It'll get higher on this next cycle. Because again, it's gonna 200 grand, it's ridiculous. See, it's gonna fill up fairly quickly. Last one took 43 days. Most of it was on the platform. 50 days, not horrible. And we did much better on the stuff there. Probably one more train line or something, and we're gonna be done with this challenge. Yeah, see, we got up into the 90s that time at the production station. All right, so now what else can we do on this island? Usually what I've done is actually set up helicopters. I really don't think it's that worth it. They don't really go that fast. We could do something just for fun, but we don't exactly have the cash for it. Helicopters are like 400 grand a piece. Yeah, 387, and we're definitely not. We don't have the time or the money to be doing any other kind of airfare stuff. Well, another thing we could do, as promised, is do this livestock over to the, or not the livestock, but the grain over to the spot over here. I believe we have the correct covered hopper wagon to do. Yeah, 38 tons of grain. It's not horrible. It's just, it's going to be a lot. That would be a much better source, but we're already using it. We can actually see if there's a food processing plant anywhere around. Try to get that livestock going. Yeah, one more train will definitely do it. Why don't we finish the way we started? If we even set up a bus that used this guy's roads, that would be pretty sweet. But I don't want to have to be dealing with that tram. We could actually, you know what? Let's be a little crazy. Let's see if we can do this. Because this could be a hugely profitable train. Oh, that's a huge. I should have never been worried about this. Jeez. All right, let's see. We want to get this building so we can go 1, 2, 3. Let's try starting here. Suspension bridge is very expensive. Oh, didn't want to do that, but here we are. Oops. Also, do not want to combine this with the other station because the bus would then be undermining what the train can do, and that's just going to be bad news for everyone. This Weeville, right. You gotta be kidding. It's gonna be so expensive, but we're gonna do it anyway. And it kind of looks cool. We are gonna have to go up a little bit. Just trying to get it all over with in one spot. Passenger trains are never going to be like super loaded down, so it's not really a huge issue when it comes to like the weight, the loading factor there. Of course, I missed. Fortunately, we have S curves and this bridge type. Why am I doing 2 passenger carriages? It's a great question. Gonna pay back as much as I can. Keep that bill low. Probably wasted more time on this than I need to. Yeah, this is gonna be our money maker right here. And we should win the... Oh, Dash 7 came out. Dash 7's not like that much better than the Sentry. I don't really think it's worth doing any kind of upgrades to the systems here. We should get over the hump in the next month. It's really going to depend again on like how many cargo ships delivered. And the thing is, it's March, so we're not going to get that far. We could do maybe like a bus line in the meantime while we're waiting. All right. All right. Let's get ourselves bus on here. Yeah, a couple buses honestly would do it if we're not going to win already, just with the merits of the cargo that we've already done. But this is a speed run, so clock time, human time matters. And we should see it any minute now. Nope. I guess not. We're actually coming up on the limit of this challenge, which is really unfortunate. It's not. There it is. All right. Well, we did it. All right, folks, that'll do it for this one. Took a little longer than we would have liked, but we made it through all the other quote-unquote easy stages. In the next one, we're going to basically run through all of the I don't know what you call them, the like real world maps, I guess. These are all extremely easy. It's basically just deliver passengers, achieve a monthly profit. I mean, it should be very easy to do. So we'll catch you in that one. Take care, folks.